This is Byron Gordon for the SES Conference Channel. We're at SES San Francisco 2012. We're talking to Giovanni of Social by Design. Giovanni, we just finished the integrated marketing panel, the future of integrated marketing. Wow, there's a lot there for CMOs today of the 21st century and what they are confronted with. You've looked at that. Tell us a little bit about how CMO responsibilities and duties have changed over the past, 10, 20 years and what they're faced with now.
Yeah, recently while I was at Deloitte, we had the opportunity to actually look at the evolution of the CMO. And we took ourselves as far back as the 60s because we knew that would be fun. Don Draper was actually the first subject of our article. But what we saw was that over the last few decades, first, there was no such thing as a CMO. That's no surprise, right? And in fact, a lot of the talent in marketing was seen to reside outside the enterprise. That's why we had Don Drapers. That's why we had Mad Men. But over the years, a lot of the capabilities that were required to connect with consumers went inside. And over the years, a lot of the touch points for connecting with consumers moved in-house. What that means over time, of course, is that the CMO's job gets harder and harder. And there was a while, in fact, when the CMO had a very short average lifespan. In fact, that's really well known. For years, we've known that CMOs don't last in their jobs as long as CIOs. But that's actually changed. In the past 2 years, CMOs, their lifespan went from 28 months average to 42 months. Why? Well, we're not sure, but we do know that CMOs are getting smarter. They actually have earned a place at the table, to talk with the CFO and the CEO who have actually been trained to talk about numbers. A lot of competencies have gone in-house, and it's actually forced CMOs to think deeply about integration.
We heard a lot about the rise of social and mobile impacting CMOs today. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, well, again, it's about the number of touch points. Mobile has increased the number of touch points, social has, and it's not just the touch points, it's actually the nature of the engagement. It's not one-way communication, it's bidirectional. And by the way, mobile has actually introduced this new thing, which is actually an old thing, which is how do you engage with people in public spaces? That's what's happening in retail. The Apple store is probably the best example of this. What happens when you walk into the store? Do you walk up to the cash register, or does the cash register walk up to you? And so physical space has become very interesting, and the transitional object, I would say, is the mobile device.
Any final words, top-line advice, recommendations for CMOs today that are confronted with the integrated marketing challenge within their company or brand?
Well, first of all, I would say congratulations. You probably have the top job in your organization. And somebody recently asked me, what happens? Isn't the CMO on top? Yes, the next job could be CEO. And in fact, I think Steve Jobs had that job. Steve Jobs was not just the CEO. He was the CMO. Of course, there was the CMO at Apple, but he was the chief marketer. And, the opportunity is to actually look very broadly at what it means to be a marketer today. It's about owning the customer experience. It's a very complex job. It's a really interesting one, possibly the most challenging.
All right. Thanks so much for sharing your insight with us, Giovanni.
Thank you very much.
And there's more to come from SES San Francisco 2012, Day 3. Stay tuned for more.